Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Pulling out the sealed sword wasn't simple. It required devouring the powerful sword energy left by the King Sword. For beginners in the art of the sword, touching it was nearly impossible. Even the proficient found it challenging. But Terran did it. The crowd gasped, their eyes on Terran. Sweat glistened on her forehead, reflecting the afternoon sun. Her breath was ragged, but her eyes gleamed triumphantly. The sealed sword in her hand testified to her skill and determination. The surrounding disciples were filled with awe and envy.
Not bad. Looks like Kintyre County has a good seed this year.
His approval increased the pressure. Anxiety gripped the air as everyone intensified their efforts, devouring their own sword energy. Where Zane Martel stood, his sharp sword energy had almost completely suppressed the sword energy inside the sealed sword. He was in a world of his own, every fiber focused on the task. His usually calm demeanor was replaced by intense concentration.
This is it. I can feel the energy. I just need to push a little harder.
Clang! Another voice echoed. Zane Martel had pulled out a sealed sword. The crowd erupted in whispers, their eyes darting between Zane and the other competitors.
Fairly good. The disciples of Azure Dragon Academy are also very outstanding.
Deputy Hall Chief, my disciple Zane Martel is extremely sensitive to the art of the sword and quite talented.
Hugh's face turned livid. Trembling, he muttered,
Zane Martel, why must you stand in my way?
Learning that Zane Martel had survived filled him with a mix of shock and fear. He couldn't understand why, but he felt it deeply. Infuriated, he shouted,
How is he still standing? I thought I got rid of him. This isn't possible. Heed my command, up you come!
The sealed sword in his hand rose from the ground. His anger and desperation were palpable, making the surrounding air almost tangible with tension.
Look! Hugh did it!
Wow, they're so powerful. I'd need a month, no, 2 months to eliminate the sword energy in the 3rd level area.
But they don't even need an hour.
The surrounding disciples were excited as Hugh quickly pulled out the next sword, igniting the air with their fighting spirit. An hour passed and the first round was over. Terran won with 4 3rd-level sealed swords. Zane Martel secured 2nd with 3 3rd-level and 1 2nd-level sword. The remaining candidates were Hugh, Elena, and Grant Young.
Congratulations to the 5 of you for entering the 2nd round. The rules are simple. Compete directly with your sword energy. Number 1 fights number 2. Number 3 against number 4. Losers fight number 5. The 3 winners then fight each other. In the end, 2 will remain for the finale.
2 ash-white stone beads the size of a human head were placed on the ground. The surroundings were empty, devoid of sealed swords. The 5 contenders went to pick their numbers. Zane Martel drew number 1.
Number 1?
Surprised, he walked to the edge of the stone bead. From the crowd emerged Grant Young of the White Wolf Academy, stronger than most, his art of the sword formidable. Grant's eyes were cold, calculating, as if he were already plotting his next move.
Well, well, if it isn't Zane Martel. The humiliation you dealt to the White Wolf Academy still lingers. Do you regret it now?
Regret it? You all deserved it.
Zane's voice was steady, but inside his mind raced.
I can't let him see my fear. I have to stay strong.
You, fine! Let's meet on the battlefield. Don't blame me for being merciless.
Grant Young sat down, his fighting spirit palpable. He placed a hand on one of the stone beads. Sword energy surged from his body, condensing a looming sword light above his head. Everyone was shocked.
It's sword glow! Sword glow condensed from sword energy!
The stone bead is mysterious. It can condense sword shadows according to the strength of the sword energy.
The disciples of the White Wolf Academy, still angry about the sect competition, shouted,
Show Zane Martel the strength of the White Wolf Academy.
Zane Martel sat down and placed a hand on the bead. Suddenly, a terrible pressure gathered above his head, forming a majestic giant sword. Compared to Grant Young's sword glow, it was colossal in size and momentum.
How can Zane Martel's sword energy be so strong?
How can these two fight?
Even Grant Young was stunned, thinking he was seeing things.
He's just putting on a show. Let's go.
He controlled the sword glow and attacked Zane Martel's huge sword.
Cut.
His sword energy and giant sword chi burst out, chopping down. The opponent's sword glow flew backward, nearly collapsing.
Again!
Shocked and angry, he controlled the sword glow to break through the air.
You haven't given up yet. Then I'll show you the real strength of the White Wolf Academy.
Cut.
With an order, Zane Martel's aura changed. The huge sword turned and cut the sword in two.
Ah!
The sword glow shattered, ricocheting toward Grant Young. He screamed, holding his head.
Zane Martel wins this round.
Everyone was dumbfounded. Zane Martel had easily cut off Grant Young's sword energy without even using his full strength. Just how strong was he? Hugh gritted his teeth, clenching his fists so hard his nails pierced his palm. He was oblivious to the pain.
Zane Martel, it's you again.
The next round, number 3, Elena versus number 4, Hugh. Number 5, Taryn, wait for your turn.
Elena sat down with no expression. Glancing at Zane Martel as he left, she sighed.
I look forward to dueling with you.
They placed their hands on the beads. The sky above twisted. Elena produced a thin, solid sword. Hugh's crescent moon blade contained ghostly shadows. Their swords clashed, exchanging more than 10 moves in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, Elena's momentum rose, integrating with everything around her. The air around her seemed to shimmer with a vibrant energy.
Heart-sword integration? Is Elena reaching the realm of heart-sword integration? How is she so talented?
He was amazed at her talent. He had just told her about this state, yet she had touched its threshold so quickly. But her opponent was Hugh.
Heart sword integration again? When did this realm become so mediocre?
His sword energy burst out. The crescent moon blade's power increased greatly, disappearing and reappearing in a flash, attacking at a tricky angle.
I have to focus. I can't let him get the upper hand. This is my chance to prove myself.
The clash between them intensified, the outcome uncertain. The crowd watched with bated breath, every clash of swords echoing in their hearts. Zane Martel stood on the sidelines, his eyes never leaving the battle. He couldn't help but feel a pang of worry for Elena. She was strong, but Hugh was ruthless.
Come on, Elena. You can do this. Show him your strength.
Elena's sword moved with a grace and precision that seemed almost otherworldly. She was in perfect harmony with her weapon, each movement flowing seamlessly into the next. Hugh, on the other hand, was all brute force and aggression, his crescent moon blade slashing through the air with deadly intent. The sky above them twisted and darkened, reflecting the intensity of their battle. Every strike sent shockwaves through the ground, rattling the onlookers. Elena's thin sword shone brightly, a beacon of hope and determination.
I won't back down, Hugh. I'll show you what I'm made of.
Big words for someone who's about to lose.
Suddenly, Elena's momentum surged. She integrated her heart sword with everything around her, becoming one with the battlefield. Her sword shone with a blinding light, cutting through Hugh's crescent moon blade with ease.
Impossible! How can this be?
With one final decisive strike, Elena shattered Hugh's sword. The force of her blow sent him reeling backward, crashing to the ground.
Elena wins this round.
The crowd erupted in cheers. Elena stood victorious, her chest heaving with exertion. She had done it. She had proven her strength and secured her place in the next round.
Well done, Elena. I knew you had it in you.
Hugh lay on the ground, defeated and humiliated. His dreams of victory shattered, but the fire in his eyes hadn't dimmed. He would rise again, stronger and more determined than ever.
This isn't over, Zane. I'll make you pay for this.
The next round awaited. Taryn, having watched the battles with keen interest, stepped forward. Her eyes were filled with a fierce determination. She was ready to prove herself once more.
The next match, Taryn, step forward. Let's see what you're made of.
The atmosphere was electric with anticipation as each competitor, including Zane Martel, Taryn, Hugh, Elena, and Grant Young, prepared for the final match. Though they had all proven their strength, the true challenge lay ahead, shrouded in uncertainty. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the battlefield, the air grew thick with tension. Night descended, bringing the true test of their strength and determination. The clash of swords echoed through the darkness, each strike a step closer to their destiny. Who would stand victorious when the dust settled? The answers awaited in the shadows of the unfolding battle, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the sword. The air was thick with anticipation as Tessa's thin sword tossed and turned, its movements erratic. The arena buzzed with tension, the spectators' eyes glued to the contestants, their breaths held in suspense. The sword wavered, and before it could stabilize, the crescent moon blade struck with a resounding clash, echoing across the hall.
I lost.
With a grim expression, Tessa rose and left, her spirit visibly shaken from the shattered sword's vigor. She felt a deep, stinging disappointment. Her defeat lingered in the air, casting a shadow over her as she retreated. The atmosphere was tense, with the crowd murmuring and whispering among themselves, trying to process the rapid turn of events. The announcement cut through the noise like a knife.
In the second round, Hugh wins. Next, number 5, Taryn versus Grant Young.
Taryn and Grant Young stepped forward, their faces set in determination. Grant, still pale from his recent defeat by Zane Martel, looked weary and unsteady. His earlier defeat played in his mind like a broken record, each loss a sharp reminder of his vulnerability.
Can I really face another challenge so soon? My spirit feels crushed, but I can't back down now. I have to prove myself.
It's unfair. Grant just got attacked. He'll definitely lose to Taryn.
Yeah, Terrence got this in the bag.
Taryn heard the murmurs and produced a blue pill, her eyes steely and resolute. The pill shimmered in her hand, reflecting the dim light of the arena.
This is a concentration pill. It'll help with your spirits after the fights. And I don't want to waste time. Come at me together.
The crowd gasped, their surprise palpable. Taryn's confidence was unwavering, her gaze challenging. She stood tall, her aura commanding respect and fear in equal measure.
Together, she's too arrogant.
How can she be so confident?
Maxwell Reed, the deputy hall chief, chuckled, his eyes gleaming with interest. He leaned forward slightly, intrigued by Taryn's bold declaration.
I haven't seen such an interesting character in a long time. Is your name Taryn?
Yes.
If they attack together, you must defeat them both to win.
Of course I know.
Tessa remained calm, her eyes betraying no emotion, while Grant's face burned with anger and embarrassment. His pride stung, his earlier defeat still fresh in his mind.
Taryn, don't look down on me. I'll show you the consequences of underestimating me.
The three approached the stone bead. Tessa and Grant shared one, while Taryn stood alone. The arena seemed to hold its breath, the tension mounting with every step they took. Suddenly, the air around them tightened as Taryn placed her palm on the stone bead, summoning a cloud of smoke. A mighty turtle, its back sharp as a sword, emerged from the smoke, its presence exuding a terrifying aura. The disciples erupted in disbelief, their voices a mixture of awe and confusion.
A turtle? Why is Taryn's sword vigor a turtle?
This is unbelievable.
Maxwell Reed's eyes widened in recognition, his expression shifting from amusement to serious admiration.
A gathering of momentum. Taryn has mastered the realm of the unity of man and sword.
The unity of man and sword?
Taryn is incredible.
Zane Martel stared at the majestic turtle in awe. The creature radiated power and confidence, an embodiment of Taryn's mastery and skill. Sword glows attacked from all directions, bouncing off the turtle's shell without causing harm. The turtle retaliated with a breath of icy air, freezing and shattering Tessa's thin sword. The crowd's collective breath caught in their throats as they watched the scene unfold. Taryn's strength was beyond anything they had anticipated.
So powerful, they don't stand a chance.
Grant's sword glow flickered, turning into dozens of shadows. But the turtle absorbed them all, crushing every attack with ease. Despite their best efforts, Tessa and Grant were no match for Taryn's overwhelming strength.
Why is she so strong? Nothing we do seems to affect her. How can we possibly win?
Maxwell Reed's voice rang out again, cutting through that tension.
The winner is Taryn. She definitely has the strength to be the King's Sword.
Maxwell Reed's voice held a note of authority and anticipation as he continued.
The next round, Taryn versus Hugh.
Hugh approached, his expression pinched with tension. The earlier defeat still weighed heavily on his mind, but he was determined not to let it hold him back.
I can't let this defeat define me. I have to give it my all, no matter how strong she is.
His crescent moon blade attacked the turtle at lightning speed, but the turtle's shell remained unscathed. The sheer resilience of the turtle was daunting.
How could it be so hard?
The turtle pounced, biting down on the crescent moon blade with terrifying force, shattering it to pieces. Hugh's face paled, his spirit crushed by the overwhelming power before him.
I lost! I lost!
His ambitions disrupted, Hugh's thoughts turned to his next opponent, his mind racing with a mix of fear and determination.
There is still Zane. If I win the next round, I still have a chance.
But deep down, the seeds of doubt had been planted. What hope did he have against Taryn's monstrous strength? The weight of his defeat bore down on him, yet a flicker of hope remained. As the next round loomed, the tension in the air was palpable. The crowd's anticipation was a living thing, buzzing and crackling with energy. Who would emerge victorious? The answer lay just beyond the horizon, shrouded in uncertainty and suspense. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, and each competitor knew they would have to summon every ounce of their strength and skill. Maxwell Reed watched the competitors with a thoughtful expression. Taryn's display of power had not only stunned her opponents, but also captured the attention of the audience. He pondered the implications of her strength and what it meant for the future of the Martial Contest Hall.
Taryn's mastery is extraordinary. If she continues on this path, she could change the dynamics of our competitions entirely.
The other disciples whispered among themselves, speculating on Taryn's abilities and what secrets she might hold. The excitement was electric, each word adding to the charged atmosphere.
How did she become so powerful? What kind of training has she undergone?
Her mastery of the unity of man and sword is beyond anything we've seen. It's almost like she's on a different level entirely.
Meanwhile, Taryn stood calmly, her eyes focused and her mind clear. She had trained for this moment, pushing herself to the limits of her endurance and beyond. The path to mastery had been long and arduous, filled with countless hours of practice and unwavering determination.
I have to stay focused. This is my moment. I've worked too hard to let it slip away now.
Her thoughts were interrupted by Zane Martell, who approached her with a respectful nod. Zane's eyes were filled with a mix of admiration and curiosity.
Taryn, your skill is impressive. I look forward to facing you in the arena.
Thank you, Zane. Let's both give it our best.
The two competitors exchanged a glance, a silent understanding passing between them. They both knew the stakes were high and that only one of them could emerge victorious. As the next round began, the crowd's excitement reached a fever pitch. The arena was alive with the sound of clashing swords and the cries of the audience. Each competitor pushed themselves to the limit, their skills and strategies tested to the fullest. In the midst of the chaos, Taryn stood tall, her eyes fixed on her next opponent. She knew the path ahead would be difficult, but she was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. As the final round approached, the crowd's excitement was at its peak. Taryn displayed her mastery of the unity of man and sword, every move precise and calculated. In the end, it was Taryn's unwavering determination and skill that saw her through to victory. The crowd erupted in cheers, their admiration for her undeniable. But as Taryn stood victorious, one question lingered in everyone's mind. What challenges lie ahead for Taryn in her quest for mastery?